This bag is 20, 30 pounds. I can weigh it, might be more, I don't know, but it's 20, 30 pounds. You have to unzip it. Okay. We've got chests, lungs, springs that are used for the compressions. Okay. And that's okay. When you are teaching a first aid course, I'm going to move this up slightly. Okay. When you are teaching a first aid course, you are not supposed to have the students assemble the mannequins, depending on what area you're in. Some places have a standard where the instructor is supposed to be assembling the mannequins. Every additional mannequin you have is another one you have to assemble. This takes time. Your instructors are going to have 15-minute breaks and maybe a lunch. If they have too many mannequins to assemble, they either have to A, break a standard, or B, by making the students assemble it, or B, they have to cut into their own break time and they effectively don't have a break. Trying to retain instructors that don't have breaks is hard. There are already not many people who want to teach first aid. Having fewer people who want to teach first aid because you're giving them more work than they're willing to do for what they make is not good. Anytime you pressure employees or staff into more things that they don't necessarily want to do, you increase their workload. It can decrease their motivation to provide good training. This factors in. I can tell you right now, most instructors, I won't say all, most, do not like dealing with more mannequins. This is the annoying part of the job. So, doubling this is going to make them not happy. I'm going to show you how you make 12 mannequins. If this was, 15 students and you wanted male and female, it would be 30. So, we're going to assemble mannequins. Feel free to time this, John. Okay. Heads. Those are my good ones. Those are my bad ones. I'll take these out. There we go. If you're teaching a level C, you also need the same number of infant mannequins. So the infant mannequins, if you teach 15 people, you're doing 15 adults, 15 infants, and if you were to have adult male and female mannequins, male and female, that would be 45 mannequins. All of which, of course, once again, have to be sterilized. Come on. Okay. As a reminder, these are not the mannequins that we use anymore for first aid. The newer ones in Canada have electronics in them to assess people for compression rate and other data to make sure they're doing it properly. Those mannequins are similarly finicky for construction, but you are not going to just have someone put their hands on a mannequin for the sake of it. If you're going to use a different type of mannequin, you're going to run the entire scenario again anyways. you are not going to just have them put their hands on it for 3 seconds. You're going to have to make sure that they do the full 2 minutes properly, regardless. Yep. Oh, I just took it apart. Oh, nice. Come on, there we go. Some places in the world may still use these mannequins. I don't know of any in particular because I'm focused on Canada, but I'm certain that there are some places that still would. Canada tends to be fairly specific with its standards on this stuff. Canada tends to take a fair amount of pride in its medical industry, and first aid is taken fairly seriously in this country. So that is a thing. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we are. Okay. I would normally have to re-clean that mannequin after that. Touch the inside of my leg. Whatever. Normally I'd be doing this on a table and it would be a bit more careful. I also would be wiping my sweat down so it wouldn't drip on a mannequin, but giving you a rough idea here, so. Up we go. Next mannequin. No. Bag's tangled a bit. There we go. Okay, bag's good. Okay. And okay. We would then usually arrange them in an easy and or nice looking manner, in some way that is somewhat presentable and not just in a giant pile, so that students feel confident in our professionalism, etc. Hello. So you could pay for somebody to do all that for you, but then you gotta increase the price of the course because you gotta pay for a new person to be construction or cleaning. And if you do that, then less people take first aid. And everything is trending towards the direction of trying to make it so less people die. So you're doing that. That was 12 mannequins. Now imagine it was 30. It's pretty normal to have a first aid course between 10 to 20 people. That's pretty normal. I'm now going to show you something. Mannequin. I know first aid, can I help you? Apparently. Are you okay? Hello? They're not. 911. I finished that. Head tilt, chin lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are not breathing. I now have implied consent to do this. I had implied consent to do whatever that was within reasonable skill and care once I did this. When I said, hey, I know first aid, can I help you? And they did not respond, I had sufficient consent to check for responsiveness. Reasonable skill and care. Armpit across. I know this is the right location and it's armpit across because all of these mannequins are designed with a piston in the bottom of them that is exactly in that line. The male and female mannequins, they're the same. They have a piston or some sort of spring in that location. If I try to press up here, it blocks my hand. I have to do this. And now I'm crushing it, and the piston has almost broken through the underside of the mannequin. In order for me to push that piston down in the wrong location, I have to break the mannequin. Armpit across. This is not complicated.